And the sunshine is making a comeback. Plenty of it in the forecast for today, and in fact, largely fine this weekend, and the outlook turns warmer. I'll have all the details of that and more coming up on Good Morning Britain. So the Planetary Parade, we did this earlier this week, but so many people have been saying to me, what is it again? Where can I see them? So basically, every single planet is going to be in the night sky tonight, all at one section of the sky, and this won't happen again until 2040. So I'm going to do the walk again over to the wall and show you what you're going to see and where. Now, you have to wait for the sun to set, which is around about 5:30 this evening. So after around about 6 o'clock, the skies will be dark enough to see the planets. They will look like stars, first of all. The one that you will see, first of all, is Venus. Venus will be the brightest star in the sky, but stars twinkle and planets do not. So you'll see a pinpoint light. Then you need to come towards the north, and then you will see Jupiter. That's the second brightest star in the sky. And then you will see Mars, which has an orangey sort of reddish tinge to it. Now, Mars, Jupiter, Venus and Mercury, you'll be able to see with the naked eye. Saturn is very close to the horizon and sets very, very early. So you need to get out around about 6 or half 6, because by 7 o'clock, we will be losing some of the planets as the Earth starts to spin. So we will lose Mercury, Neptune and the other one that was there. So Venus, Venus, Uranus and Jupiter and Mars, you'll be able to see those after around about 7 o'clock. But if you don't see it tonight, they're still around all weekend long. And the great news is that the skies are looking largely clear. So the Planetary Parade on for the next few nights. If you don't catch that, you won't again until 2040. See, I know loads of people have been really excited to see it. The best piece of advice is to head out around about 10 or 20 minutes before you want to see them to acclimatise your eyes to the dark. This is the conditions overnight. England and Wales have the clearest conditions tonight. Scotland and Northern Ireland will cloud over a little. If you can get away from light pollution and gain a little bit of elevation, that is when you get the best chance of seeing them as well. So, elsewhere, another thing happened this weekend, the Oscars. It has been very warm over in LA. They've had temperatures around about 26 degrees Celsius, but as we head through to Sunday evening, it will turn cloudier and cooler. Only 14 degrees their top temperature, and there's a chance of rain. Not great news for the red carpet, of course. Coverage of that starts on Sunday evening here on ITV1 and ITVX at 10:30, with the actual ceremony at around about midnight. So for today, it is cold, frosty and foggy to start for many of us, but plenty of sunshine around as well. So a chilly start first thing this morning, but plenty of sunshine takes us through the day. The wind's light and it's dry, so great news for viewing those planets for many of us tonight. Shatner to space, and he was the oldest person to ever go to space, and he came down and he was crying, and it changed his whole life, his whole campaigner for climate change. So it's life-changing if you get to go.
Wow. I demand answers. There was a frost on my car.
So today is actually the last day of meteorological winter.
Yes.
Whether you have clear skies, it's like taking a blanket off. If you take your blanket off, you'd get cold overnight, but if you have the cloud, like your blanket keeping it on, it keeps in the heat. So we have clear skies for the next few nights. It's cold and frosty, but do you know what it means? We're going to get to see?
Sorry, I asked the wrong person.
The Planetary Parade!
She's so clever, I love her. Run it, Sam.
So yes, I just said then it's the last day of meteorological winter. So we in the weather world classed December, January and February as winter. So the 1st of March for us is the first day of spring, but astronomically it is on the 20th of March when the sun is directly over the equator. But it will feel cold as we head through the coming nights with those clear skies with still a frost around, thanks to a big area of high pressure. It keeps weather fronts at bay, it keeps cloud at bay for the most part. But what it does mean by day in the sunshine, it will feel very pleasant indeed, and lots of fine weather to be enjoyed. Let me take you through the detail in just a moment as we head through the weekend, but for today, it's a story of a frosty start, just as Andy said. We've also got some fog around, but that means there'll be plenty of sunshine. So we took away that cloud overnight, and with that, temperatures have fallen to freezing for many of us, some fog through parts of northern England and the Midlands, but that will quickly clear away. And then light winds, plenty of sunshine, and temperatures just a little above average. We're looking at 9 to 10, maybe 11 degrees Celsius, but turning cloudier for the northwest later. The winds freshen here. This is not welcome news if you want to view the Planetary Parade tonight for Scotland and Northern Ireland, turning cloudy here as we head through the evening. But let's see how things pan out as we head through the next 7 days. So basically, high pressure does its job. It sits close by. It keeps weather fronts at bay. So the outlook is largely dry and settled and not too cold either. So looking at the north of the UK, first of all, Scotland, Northern Ireland, northern areas of England, the white line is where our temperature should be for the time of year. and it stays above average by day, but it will be cold and frosty at night. Percentage chance of rainfall across the north of the UK, it remains relatively low, and even the middle of next week is just some light showers, but they will be fairly few and far between. Fortunes further south in England and Wales, away from the far north of England. Again, temperature-wise, it's not been as warm as it was at the start of the week, but we're still above average and climbing into the middle of next week. And then percentage chance of rainfall, it remains largely dry. So if you have outdoor plans as we head through the weekend into next week, it is looking largely fine and dry, but wrap up warm if you're heading out overnight.